All right, we have in studio with us, and you guys have to give your official titles because I don't think the great is your official title. Heather?
Actually,
It is now.
Well, yeah. Actually, I was going to tell.
Yeah.
Show me your business card.
So Heather, what is your official title with Old Town?
I'm the entertainment manager.
Entertainment
So
manager.
yeah, I get to all the fun stuff.
Oh, that sounds like a great. And Dave, besides being the head honcho, master of all beings, what is your official title?
No one's calling me head honcho. General manager.
General manager, the GM. You are the gem.
Servant to many.
Yes. So but Old Town Trolley has been involved in our show since like the very beginning when we started on the radio. You guys were there for us, so we really appreciate you guys being with us and keeping us, getting the information out to the locals. A lot of times people don't realize what you guys give back to the community, but I want to make sure I got to say thank you at the very beginning of this interview, what you've done for Home Again and what you've done for so many other charities. So I'm going to say thank you up front instead of at the back end because sometimes I get lost in these reads and I'll forget to say that. So,
thank you.
But Dave, you and I have been friends and worked together on a lot of projects. What is one of the main missions of the Old Town Trolley that a lot of people don't realize with the public and how you guys run your business?
Well, one of the things that I enjoy the most now is handling a lot of the philanthropical, causes on behalf of Historic Tours of America. You mentioned Home Again, St. John's. Our biggest partner in the community is the St. Johns County school system. Mm-hmm. So I think we're going to talk a little bit about one of the bigger fundraisers that we do with them in just a few minutes, which is the jailbreak, 5K. One of the other events that we do, which is really near and dear to my heart, is on Veterans Day, all across the country. Mm-hmm. We donate $1 from every ticket sold, mm-hmm. and we use that money collectively to purchase service dogs, puppies.
That's wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then we that money goes to pay to have those dogs trained, mm-hmm. and then ultimately delivered into the hands of veterans in need. So that's another really great thing that we do.
And that's great. And you guys, I don't think a lot of people realize this, that you're much larger than what's here in St. Augustine. How many cities is your company actually involved in? Because you go to these other cities, you're like, hey, that looks like one of our trains.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So how many cities are you guys actually?
So we're in 9 cities now. 9 cities. And I remember when I first started with Historic Tours of America, St. Augustine was their newest city. Mm-hmm. And since then, we've expanded into Charleston, San Antonio, Texas, and Nashville.
So Nashville, those are the 3 newer ones.
Those are the 3 newer ones.
Mm-hmm. I know you're in Boston. I've
Boston, Washington,
in DC,
San Diego,
Savannah,
Key West.
Key West, yeah. So San Diego's the one I didn't. So not New Orleans, though. For some reason, I was thinking you guys were in New Orleans too, but you're not in New Orleans.
No, we're not in New Orleans.
Okay. But I've enjoyed several of your activities in Key West and in DC and in Boston and here. And Savannah. But the training you guys do corporate wide is so great.
Yeah.
How do you guys make that? Because you guys, how many employees do you have here locally in St. Augustine?
Right now, approximately 250, not counting our corporate headquarters.
Mm-hmm.
We operate a corporate headquarters here in St. Augustine as well. During nights of lights, it may fluctuate to over 200.
Yeah, one of the things that really kind of stands out, and I've spoken in front of your group a couple of different times, is how welcoming your entire staff is to people coming. I brought groups with you and stuff like that, and it's great here. It's great every single place. But how do you guys keep that motivation and that uplift when you're reaching out to people?
Well, first of all, I think I need to correct myself. I said 150. It's closer to 250. It's 250 and then 300.
Or Nights of Lights.
Yeah, just heard myself say that. But Heather's probably be the best person to answer that question.
Yeah, for us, the most important thing that we do really is to make sure our cast members are out there, giving our guests, the best experience possible, making those, those memories. So it really starts with, who we hire. We want to hire the best people out there, the nicest people. You can't train nice. So we want to make sure that when we bring people to Old Town Trolley, that they are generally nice people. And it's just our culture that we have. We're just, out there, making those memories, for our guests.
Yeah. Now, Dave talked about an upcoming event, the Jailbreak.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about the Jailbreak and how we can help get that word out. I mean, we have you guys on there. We'll put it in our comments leading up to that for sure. So people, and we'll add the link in so people can just click on it, make it as easy as possible. But tell us about the Jailbreak. Where does that money go, and how
the
did it get
Jailbreak
started?
5K is one of our most exciting events that we do, and we do this in partnership with Inc. Investing in Kids. It's the main fundraiser, so all the money goes to that foundation. And it's the most fun 5K that you're ever going to have. It's a themed race where the runners are inmates at the old jail. And our Deputy Otis, is tired of them trying to escape. So he gives them a 10-minute head start, and then he chases them throughout the course. And it's just very exciting. It's a costume contest with cash prizes. We have live music throughout. We have race enhancements. We have cheerleaders throughout, and at the very end of the race, we have a celebration there, a party with what inmates, what runners will love to have to eat afterwards is a slop, of beans, of grits, and hardtack that our prisoners are going to give to them. So it's just a fun event. And this year it's going to be October 25th, and tickets are already on sale now for that.
Oh, wow. October 25th.
Yes.
Fast.
So, so we're as we get closer, we're definitely going to put that in and make sure we have it and push that out. So the relationship with Inc., how far back does that go? I mean, Inc., you guys and Inc. It seems like you've been partners for a long time. So
Maybe 10, 15 years. And I can't tell you, working so closely with you enough, just how passionate, this group of people, how passionate they are. And they are just absolutely wonderful stewards of the sponsorship, dollars that we give them, making sure that they get to the, to the right people. So they're very near and dear to my heart. I think I've shared this with you. I grew up in Hackensack, New Jersey, which is a very underserved area. And going to school, we would get those lists of supplies like the kids still do, now, and of course I would show up to school with absolutely nothing, but I always had everything that I needed. I had no idea, of course, at the time that there was this hardworking, severely underpaid, teacher that was reaching into his or her pocket, making sure that myself and all the other kids that didn't have the money had what they needed. So this is where that money really goes to a large, amount of that money goes right into the classrooms. I mean, they're the primary support foundation for in-school activities, and I couldn't be more prouder to work with them.
no, they do an absolute amazing job, and I think you and I have talked about this. And there was one Christmas I grew up in DeLand on a pig farm, beautiful pig farm.
That's nice.
Most beautiful pig farm. Yeah, whatever you're imagining, it's worse.
Can't even imagine those moon sets on the pig farm.
Yeah, we didn't have a lot of those there in DeLand. But we very similar situation. One Christmas I got paper for Christmas, and I thought Santa was mad at me, and I felt so horrible. I remember making my mom cry, But it's groups like Inc. that helps out people like that kind of make sure all those supplies are there. It takes a little of that pain off of those teachers that we all know aren't making a lot of money. It's a job. It's a job because you love it, not a job because you thought you were going to be, you know, wearing diamonds around your neck. I mean, it's definitely a passionate job. But groups like Inc. are the ones that kind of help those kids and help those teachers just give that little extra boost. And that's why we're one of the top groups like Inc.'s the reason why we're one of the top.
I was gonna say that
Yeah.
with everything you just said, I mean, we
Mhm.
still, maintain one of the best school districts, in the state. And I think people really, when they when they think about the St. Johns County schools, they think about and success, define success with test scores. But oh my goodness, I had an opportunity to go into some of these, these schools, and I just wish parents could see the same thing that I got to see. To look behind that curtain, just to see, this God, I mean, just these amazing opportunities that these kids have, and you can just walk around the school and just see the relationship that the students have with the with the teachers. I mean, it's really something something special, and of course, as we all know, it's a huge economic driver too for St. John's County. It's one of the reasons Historic Tours of America has chosen St. John's County to put its corporate headquarters. It's just because, again, just the wonderful people that the county attracts, family people to St. Johns County because of the schools.
And Dave, I want to get a little more personal into where you're at. You gave us a little bit. When I first met you, I think you were a horse and carriage guy.
From Hackensack, New Jersey. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, you're a horse and carriage guy, and then you went with Old Town Trolleys, right? Was there a transition in between there, or so kind of explain
Yeah.
how you got to St. Augustine and how you ended up, being the GM of one of the best companies in the entire city.
Well, I tell you, I moved here from Hackensack, New Jersey, and got here to St. Augustine. And like most people, I hear people say this all the time. They had no idea that St. Augustine was here. From a history perspective, we learned it from the British point of view. So maybe St. Augustine might have been mentioned in the in the classroom, but I don't recall it. So I remember getting here, and I just remember walking around that first morning, seeing this giant stone fort and the bayfront and the sailboats. Wasn't too long, a couple of weeks here. I mean, I just began to fall in love with the community. I got into tourism and hospitality, and I just never looked back. I mean, it's such rewarding industry. I mean, I can't think of another industry where you get that deep appreciation so quickly from the people that you're serving.
You get an instant gratification.
Instant gratification, yeah. And it's really helped to shape me, who I am today. I think it's made me a better father. It's along the way, it's helped me to shape me to be a better leader, working with a very diverse group of people. And what I mean by that, we have people who have moved here from all over the country. People with all different kinds of point of view. And one thing I've learned, in tourism and hospitality, people are people. I don't care where you are. We all think we're so different. We're not. We're all very, very similar. So working with a very broad group of people, for a collective effort, right, which is to us, we get to take up a part and be in a very important time in our guests' lives, which is this family vacation. So we call ourselves cast members, just to remind us of our role in the guest's day, where they're supporting characters. So what a great job to be able to kind of be there, waiting for these opportunities to help make our guest's day, better. You can come to work with a bad attitude. You're not going to keep that for very long. I mean, you are surrounded by people that are just very happy.
Everybody's
on vacation, right?
Yeah. And that's what I've always felt when I've come on any of your locations, and I've helped out with some of the stuff that you guys do and your appreciation party and some of those things. and it's always been like your entire staff has just been like, oh yeah, we got you, you know. Heather, we've kind of been letting you, we've let you off the hook a little bit on this, so now we're going to come to you. Okay. So how did you find your way to the Old Town Trolley cast? And you know, you've been there a little bit now. So
well, I just celebrated my 4-year trolleyversary.
Trolleyversary.
Yes, we call them trolleyversaries.
I love that.
I think I coined that when I came.
Yeah. So how did you come to be, you know, a trolley person?
So I came from Orlando, where I worked at Walt Disney World for about 20 years. And absolutely loved it. Again, being in the tourism and hospitality industry for such a long time, you just have to love it. And I really did. I worked at big attractions at the Magic Kingdom and in Epcot as an operations, a guest service manager. And I've just always loved St. Augustine. I would come here with my family. I remember going to the old jail with my dad, you know, years ago. And it was always like my happy place. So I just knew that someday, somehow, I was going to be here. And I remember riding the trolley. And so I just made a decision. It was like a now or never. If I don't do it, I'm never going to do it. And I decided to move here. And I didn't start with Dave and Old Town Trolley right away. I actually started working with Will Hensler at Citygate Spirits. Okay. So, which was great. He gave my first job here. And then I saw that there was a job fair at the Lightner Museum that I knew Old Town Trolley was going to be at. And Will knew that I wanted to work for that company. So he let me, I'll never forget this, he let me leave early and then head to the Lightner, where I met Jennifer and Kathy from Leadagers on the team, gave them my resume. And next thing I know, I'm in an interview with Dave. And I was hired.
And it's been 4 years.
And it's been 4 years, and I just absolutely love it.
So your trolleyversary.
My trolleyversary, yes.
Well, we're very happy you're here, and you know, been able to do some things with you when I come and speak, and you kind of are the one leading, getting all the strings pulled and stuff like that. What is one of the things that you've been there for 4 years now? What is one of the things that makes you proud that you're an employee of Old Town Trolley?
Oh my gosh. One thing that I'm proud of really is what we do for our guests that come here, you know, really sharing, you know, the history of St. Augustine, the history, you know, of America, as we call ourselves, the nation's storyteller, is really being that person out there, and just making sure, again, that we are giving our guests, you know, the best time to take things back. So what we want to do really is educate while we entertain. And we do it in a sneaky way that when our guests go on our trolleys, when our guests go to our museums, you know what, they're learning something, right? They may not remember everything, but they're going to take a piece away and start that conversation going and wanting to learn more. And I love just being a part of that.
And that's where we kind of have to, we have a thing we call laugh and learn with our shows, you know. Right. So hopefully you're laughing with us and you're learning at the same time. And I think you guys do a really good job with that, of keeping people engaged and stuff like that. Dave, and I'm going to ask a question. I don't know
Sure.
what the history is behind this, but I've always wanted to know, how did Old Town Trolley Historic Tours end up with the old jail? Like, how did that come to be a marriage together? And because that's kind of like one of your home bases of the jump off points and stuff like that. And I don't know where you guys would be without that property, and how did, I mean, because it was an active jail, you know, up until like 60 years ago or 50 years ago. How did you guys end up with that asset? Because to me, it's like just really kind of gives you that good home base.
Well, that's a really great story, and probably not the best one to tell it. But you'd have to go all the way back to a guy named Slim McDaniel.
Great name already.
Slim McDaniel, and he people knew him as his nickname was by some the P.T. Barnum of St. Augustine.
Okay.
And he had owned the jail, and started the trolley company to bring people to the attraction, and then that's where the story gets really fun, interesting. And there's several books on it. I know we've captured the story of Sim Jackson. Oh no, sorry, Slim McDaniel. Yeah, Slim McDaniel, in a book that we sell, but it's a fascinating story. So when Historic Tours of America bought the trolley, it was also owned by a guy named Melvin Bear at that time, who owned the jail. So it was kind of we bought the trolley, we got the jail, that property.
So that's how it. What was the time frame of that?
Gosh, 23 years ago.
Okay.
I've been with the company 21 years now.
Okay, so it's just in the 2000s, because I was like, gosh, this is really just a perfect hub for what you guys do. And I was like, what would they do if they? I mean, you have other obviously stops and pickups and stuff like that, but it was like it's just like the perfect home for you guys. And
going back to that story, it really is a great story. There was a guy who had worked here. I can't remember his name. I was trying to remember his name. He'd worked for Slim McDaniel at the time, and eventually he moved to Hollywood and became a fairly famous producer. And he actually produced several episodes of remember the show The A-Team?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and he actually based a story on Slim McDaniel and back at the time, the train, the trolley wars. It's a really fascinating story.
Oh wow, that's super fun, super fun. All right, we have a question online about pricing. Blake, did you see that question?
Yeah, it was from Bobby. I can find it right here. It's his question was how and what is the pricing for riding the trolleys nowadays?
I think it's $36.99. That sounds funny. So we definitely try to price the trolley a little bit cheaper when we're slower, for sure, to give people a break. But if you're listening, this might be a good opportunity to mention, because a lot of people don't know this. So during the month of September, before you buy your trolley ticket, we do something every year called Locals Month. So you would go to residentpass.com, and when you go to that web page, if you live in St. Johns County, you can request a resident pass. When you get that resident pass, it's good for up to 4 people during the month of September. And you bring that pass to any one of our ticketing locations, and you can trade that pass in for 2 of the 4 experiences that we offer here in St. Augustine, which is the Old Town Trolley, the Old Jail, the Oldest Store Museum experience, and Potter's Wax Museum.
Yeah.
So
I heard Taylor's coming. Is that true?
Taylor Swift is coming. Yes, okay. Taylor Swift. My daughter's going to be very excited.
Yeah, I heard
Taylor Swift.
That's a big thing.
Yeah.
That's a big thing. I heard Taylor Swift is coming to Potter's. When is that supposed to?
I think next month.
Next month?
Yeah, next month.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Her head arrived.
Oh.
So we're waiting for her body to get here, but anyway,
let's not take pictures of that.
That's a whole story.
It's a story.
That's a whole
we'll have
story.
Swifties all over us if we do that. Let's not do that. So, but that happens next month. So that's a big deal too.
Yep.
Maybe we can get you to share that too, because there's we've been doing it forever, but there's been so many new people moving into the county.
Yeah.
To be able to share that
maybe
with
you and I can do like a live walkthrough or something.
Yeah, it'd be great.
Or
Yeah.
do its own episode, and because I have a 5-year-old that's going to want to be there as soon as Taylor is ready to see. So your daughter, or my daughter is going to be like, yeah.
And and a lot of people, they do these things and they go, it sounds very touristy, or I've done that, before. I am telling you, not because I run the trolleys. There's something about being on an open air trolley in St. Augustine, eye level, with people walking on, St. George Street, on Hippolyta Street. There's something really special about coming down the bayfront again in an open air trolley, taking in that sea breeze, the sailboats, the occasional dolphin or manatee, out in the water. I mean, it's really, really cool.
Yeah.
To be on one of those open air trolleys. So I do hope our St. Johns County residents will come take advantage of that. And then, Heather can talk maybe a little bit more about the attractions, the jail and the store.
Yeah, 'cause those are the two attractions that I lead the team at, and the old jail, incredible. Right. All the guests love to go to the old jail. Every 15 minutes, either a prisoner trustee or a sheriff's deputy will show the guest their new home. Right. It's a processing. So they'll take the guest into the jail. We really try to create this 1908 thematic experience where, again, we're having fun, but we're learning something. We're learning history about the jail. And the Oldest Store Museum experience really is a hidden gem. I hear this all the time, that the Oldest Store is the guest's favorite attraction of all the attractions that we offer, and they love it. They step into C.F. Hamlin's hardware store, and they're taken back in time by one of the shopkeepers, showing the latest and greatest inventions of the late 1800s, early 1900s. Like a goat-powered treadmill, or a gigantic coffee grinder, the noiseless milkshake maker. It is just so much fun. It really is like a must-see experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you guys have some really cool, and the thing, like I said, to me, even going through there, the cast is knowledgeable. They understand what's going on, and they kind of talk you through. The old jail experience is, it's creepy at times.
Well, it's fun too.
It's fun.
It's creepy. You're right. I don't separate from that. Sounds argumentative. No, it's not creepy. I mean,
but no, that's what makes it fun. It has that, you can get in there and go, okay, these windows didn't close. These guys lived in this, and women, and then the family lived below. I think that's a lot of people don't realize that the family, the sheriff's family lived there in the old jail.
So what Heather and her team do, we talked about that transportainment education, educating while entertaining. So what Heather and her team does, every 15 to 20 minutes, we welcome a new group of prisoners. Guests.
Yeah.
Right. And then her prisoner trustees or sheriff deputies, their job is to settle the new inmates in. So as we're walking you around the jail, kind of showing you the ropes, what life's now going to be like, for you. It's a very immersive experience. And as you're aware, we operate some very popular attractions all across the country, everything from the Boston Tea Party Ships and Museum, the Key West Aquarium, Harry Truman's little White House. I will tell you that the old jail is one of the most visited attractions that we operate in from a guest satisfaction standpoint. It just really does check all those boxes. Yeah. It's absolutely fantastic. So again, I'm saying all this to really encourage our locals to come in and sightsee in their own backyard.
No, it's amazing. It's a great experience. We did it with Project Autism for years when we did our trick or treat at
it was great. Yeah,
the old jail and we got to go through there quite a bit. But Blake and I also did the Boston Tea Party.
Yeah, great.
Absolutely amazing. What they were able to do there.
And Heather said it earlier, and just to kind of stamp that, what we do unapologetically is we share the more inspirational, more positive aspects of our country's history. Again, it's to get people excited about learning about our country's history. And we're very proud to be able to tell some of these these important stories.
No, absolutely amazing job, Heather. Is there something we left off, because we were kind of coming to the end, and I want to make sure we hit all the points you guys wanted to hit. And
well, there was one thing. Can we go back to the jailbreak 5K?
Sure.
Because I cannot believe I forgot about this. That every single runner gets a finisher's medal. Okay. And a T-shirt, and everyone is gonna want the medal, because every year we just kind of one up ourselves, and this year's medal is gonna be pretty exciting. We always theme it, to the jail. Okay. So, and I do believe that there's gonna be a medal reveal sometime in July.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Well, let us know how we can help with that medal reveal.
Yes.
Because we would love to.
Yes.
We're very revealing.
Well, I tell you, we learned a long time ago, didn't we, Heather? For people will literally decide whether or not they want to participate in your race if they like your T-shirt and medal.
Yeah.
So we have
Yeah.
absolutely spared no expense on the T-shirt and medal, and not to mention if you've ran in that race before, I mean, you do it every year because, and usually you bring some friends back with you because we're expecting 1,000 plus
1,000
runners
plus
again this
runners.
year.
Yep.
And it really is the most entertaining fundraise in St. Augustine. And again, all the proceeds go to the St. Johns County school system. Hey, do we have time real quick to talk about St. Johns County's autism initiative?
Yes, please do that.
Yeah.
So,
And then do you want to talk about it a little bit?
Oh, sure. Yes. So we just renewed our autism certification for the second year. And this is something that I can definitely say that we're all so proud of. All of our cast members, all of our frontline cast members go through this autism certification process really to make us more inclusive, best practices, so we can really welcome everybody to Old Town Trolley. All of our attractions have sensory guidelines in front of each show scene, so which shows, what's the taste, sight, touch, smell rating. So our guests can look at that to know before they go inside. And this really has been beneficial to our cast members and the guests that have come.
You mentioned, earlier just how, and Heather talked a little bit about, when we hire our cast, the first thing that we do before we even look, at your, your application, what you've done, what you can do, the first qualifier for us is whether or not during, we're having a conversation with you, we believe that the person sitting in front of us is a nice person, because as Heather said, we've learned after all these years, you just can't train nice.
Yeah.
You're nice here. So, but it's really taken this amazing Kath, and it's even helped us to be even more compassionate, more understanding, and it's really tooled us up, as Heather said, to be more inclusive, more welcoming for this, this
Well,
very
there's parents,
underserved population.
As an autism parent, I mean, there's parents out there that really have a tough time taking their. I mean, we took our boys everywhere, and you didn't like it. Hey, tough. That's on you. It's not on me. But it gives people and parents the confidence. Even when we used to do the Project Autism, like the tours where it was 100% all autistic kids, the parents loved it, and a lot of them came back because their children loved it. So it's like once you lock into something with an autistic kid, you have them, and this for you guys to do this is great as a company. Our company is doing some hotels with the autism certification. This is a county-wide initiative, and you guys were kind of the leaders on that. And I think you guys should be commended because you were ahead of the game. Before a lot of other groups even joined in.
Well, Isabella Renault from the Chamber of Commerce, and Susan from the Visitor and Convention Bureau, and as you said, the county. I mean, they've been amazing, very inspiring with this. And of course, the reason I wanted to bring this up is because we are so close. I'm not sure how many more hotels and how many more attractions that we need, but we are very, very close to becoming the first county in the state of Florida to be an autism certified destination. So we're really trying to help, and thanks for giving us the platform to help us kind of get over that hump there. So really, we're hoping some other attractions, and the one, it's great that the Jalaram hotels are.
I
getting
think our
certified.
3 hotels. I think we're still short on some restaurants.
Yeah.
I think there's some restaurants out there. So if you're a restaurant out there and you want to get your certification, please do so. And part of the training is there's a grant.
Yes,
that's there that can help if you're a business that you're on the teetering on it. But there's a grant from the chamber, so check with the chamber on how those reimbursements work. So that kind of encourage those smaller companies to come into it.
Yeah, and look, and of course, we want to do this as Heather said, to be, inclusive for everybody. But there is, again, another, less like to talk about, but important to mention. I mean, there's a financial reason for doing this, too, as you've mentioned, families who are touched by, autism, have a family member in autism, they want to know that you're a safe and welcoming place. I mean, this is a very, very large market of people.
Yeah, they are going to come to you. I mean, they're going to come to that destination above one that's not, and that's, as an autism parent, I mean, that's like, oh, okay, we know we're welcome there. We know they know how to manage it and handle those things. So it's definitely a benefit to be a part of that, to bring in a whole group. I mean, we're down to like 1 in 44 children right now that are affected by autism. So it's definitely a national need.